know if that went with those or not.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the records reflect that all members are present except Karen Galvin. If everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the May 5th meeting, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
A motion to approve the minutes?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Is there any old business to come before the board?
I can cover some of it right now. The asphalt work was completed last week on the northwest side of Memorial Park. This is along the baseball diamond, including the parking lot and entrance on State Road 39. There again, we also did all the striping, the layout of the parking lot and the striping throughout Memorial Park. And the asphalt to be completed yet will be the basketball courts and the walking path along the golf course. That to be completed after we get some drier weather in July, probably after the 4th. We might go ahead and get the basketball courts done prior, but doubtful. Also, the lighting project, as I told Lori earlier, Deb Schmucker and I were out at 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 last night, working on lighting. We've been out three times now. I think we've pretty well selected where we're going to do the final staging and site planning for each one of the lights. We'll be planning on direct purchase of the fixtures here in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and also putting construction plans out for bid in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Playground update, determining the size of no-fault surface, concrete, and type of fencing and benches. We had it staked out, I think I said at the last meeting, and it's just too small. I spoke with the council and the mayor also. I think we need to go larger because it's going to be for a long time that we have this. So we'll come in probably quite a bit higher than what we had intended to on the budget, but it seems like council is supportive along with the mayor. So that's a good thing. We're getting that also. The topography, we completed it. Now we had to redo some areas from prior topography that was done. And out for bid probably 4 to 5 weeks with both construction and play equipment. And we'll have a 3D renderings that I'll share with you probably at the next meeting of what type of play equipment that we'll be putting in there. It'll be nice. You get kind of an overview of where the layout, what we're going to do, benches inside, the fencing and all that. But it'll be nice. The playground companies actually put those out, so when we put it out for bid, they'll come back and you all have an idea of what we're receiving for the dollars that we're putting out. The cabin, log doctors from Tennessee will be out, weather permitting, next week to start the exterior and the interior of all the chinking and the door jambs and the like on the work on the cabin and replacing little foundation work. Projects next up are the siding, what we did anyway. I guess that would not be old business, that'd be new business. You want me to go straight to new? Any questions for that on any of the old business? Okay, and then go to new business, is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay, new business, we're basically just the projects that we did were the siding, the west side of the maintenance barn, and the new structural and metal roof on the gazebo. But those will be done in-house in the next month. I think we should be able to complete. I look back because the superintendent of the parks, Billy Smith, is in attendance. So I think we discuss this. We have almost daily meetings and along with staff meetings weekly, but that's what the plan is to start that next week.
Okay, so then we're probably right on to the director's report.
Okay. There again, I'll start off with the Seashore Water Park. Due to the unseasonable chilly weather, we had to delay the opening of the Seashore Water Park. We will be open for the season tomorrow, Thursday, June 3rd at 11 a.m. And the reason being, it was 57 degrees out and the pool temps were way too cold. People would show up, but they wouldn't be happy. So checked around with a lot of other pools. There are no state requirements or local requirements as far as pool temperatures or outdoor temperatures, but ours is 70 degrees. If it isn't 70 degrees, we will not open the pool. We do open the splash pad and didn't have a lot of people down there this weekend. Had a few, but they didn't stay long. So there again, I think if anybody was out this weekend, they know what I'm talking about. After the rain today, you saw the sun come out and you can feel the heat coming. So I think we're ready for summer. There again, now all the pool parties have been booked for this season, along with both June and July morning and evening swim lessons. Pool passes are back this year. They can be purchased online at seashorewaterpark.org or in our office. Tubes are not going to be out at this time. We're at 50% capacity. We went from blue to yellow in the last couple of weeks, and that's dictated by our local health department. There again, we do concur with, or we go along with all the rules and regulations from the CDC and the state and local health department. As far as that goes, they have guidelines, and any activities that we hold, we go through the health department and get permission to actually do these. So we will be at 50% capacity till we go back down to the blue level. I think there was an outbreak at the middle school, and I think that's what bumped us into the 50% into the blue or into the yellow. But there again, we have the cookie cutter because we did this all last year. We have the policies and procedures, and we're going to follow those recommendations from everybody from last year. So we'll have a person actually sanitizing. Line for Mission Gate will be marked 6 feet increments to encourage distancing. The false signage will be posted at the admission gates, and that will be, as with any public facility, the danger of contracting COVID-19 exists if you choose to enter the water park. Don't enter this facility if you have a cough, fever, symptoms, and I can go on and on with our page and a half of rules and regulations, but it's going to be the same as last year. We were very successful, and we will stay with those guidelines. We will have somebody escorting the families in, sitting them down, and then taking the chairs beside them away so they have the social distancing. And we will be having one person designated to sanitize all the railings, the door handles, anything that can be touched above the pool water. And that's just something that we'll choose to do. We'll probably keep that. I really like that person roaming around, and it tends to work out really. I like cleanliness, if you can't tell. Yeah, kind of a freak. There again, the splash pad will remain open from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. daily. Keep in mind that we will close if there is bad weather. If there's thunder, we have to close down for 30 minutes. That means the splash pad too. If we do it at the Seashore Water Park, we will also shut the splash pad down. There again, there is no outside food or drink allowed in any of our facilities, so you can't carry anything in. People have been trying to sneak some food into the splash pad, and we just can't have it. If we have, we'll ask them to take it away, and if it's a reoccurring thing, we'll ask them not to come back to our water park. It's just something that we don't allow, and that's where you get your bacteria and all the bad stuff, and we just don't allow it. And children must have adult supervision. We're seeing quite a few people now that school's out where the kids come over, and I don't mind the kids having, but they need some adult supervision. That is unattended by lifeguards at the splash pad, so they must have somebody around that's at least older that is taking charge of the children. We've had a little bit of vandalism down there this year already, and not only is it frustrating, but very costly, and if they would, please just watch after your children, know where they are and what they're up to. Flowers have been planted at Memorial Park and planters uptown. All beds have been mulched as well. New fencing in the maintenance area is now installed. That's in between the baseball and the maintenance facility. Also the slats, it looks really nice. As I said earlier, all the crosswalks, parking areas in Memorial are freshly marked. We had them come out right after all that and freshen up all our paint. I think it looks really good. Really sets off the water park. All grounds have been treated, and a few pine trees. We had bagworms last year in the trees, so we're treating all our pines and our blue spruces. They could take them out, and we don't want what happened to the ash trees, the same as the pines. If we lose all those, that'd just be terrible. But we do have a state license to do that, so we are qualified to take care of it, and we do have experience in that field. So we're going to save the trees. That's the big deal, especially those blue spruce. They're just beautiful, but they were infested last year, and the time right now is to treat them, so we're taking care of that. We also planted a few memorial trees. We installed some drainage when we put in these roads. We prepared to tie in these drainage areas around the trail and places that tend to flood. We've already run the piping and some other whatever you call, what do you call them, John?
Catch basin.
Catch basins, thank you, which will alleviate all the water holdups there. We had quite a few areas, but Billy's quick thinking went ahead and we prepared for the future. So that'll keep all the flooding from going on. We did also complete the new lighting, the facade, and up at the water park and in front of the office. We have LED lighting now. Also have done it down at Southside in the restrooms down there. Brightens it up, but also hopefully deters anybody from doing any vandalism or anything they shouldn't be. We also did ductwork in the office. We had one part of the office that never got any air, and we have a guy that's very familiar that we just hired on to do that work, and he did a very nice job and helped us out. We also put a condenser installed at the press box down at the baseball field. Again, a lot of these things we do in-house and save quite a bit of money, and we're pretty good at it, by the way, too. New panel board in the leisure pool. You probably saw that in your claims, quite a big fee there. It's a panel board that actually operates all the features of the leisure pool. It's about 8 years old, and the life of those is 9 to 10 years old. There is no warranty. Warranty runs out after 2 years, but it is what it is. And I have budgeted in for these for the last couple of years. So one of them did go down. There was no problem. Got the person out right now, and it's actually going to be more efficient than the one 9 years ago that we installed. So I thought that was pretty neat, but pretty frustrating. But thank goodness it happened prior to opening the pool, and that happened just a week and a half ago, and we had it in within 2 days, which is really nice. But that would have shut down the facility probably for a couple days. The company has plenty of spare parts, so if anything else goes down, now that we're on board with him, he could get out there really quick. So that's good to know too. There again, with the weather we've had, nice cool wet, moist weather. The mowing is constant. We've been staying up with all of it, which is very important. I think the parks look absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Mother Nature, but also the crew that we have. They're doing an outstanding job. Caleb, again, has been out taking care of maintaining the trail all the way to Thorntown, and that's the brush and also the mowing going on. We did farm that out the last few years, but we're doing that in-house. He's doing a nice job with that, but also maintaining all of his other many duties that we all wear a lot of hats. Nobody more than Billy Smith right in the back of the room there. Going on to programs, what we had the Megan Hammerly 5K walk run last month. Very nice turnout, very nice event that we have. Senior walk was last Friday. Again, anytime we can help out the high school with anything, and it was really nice to see all those kids out there, and they got to do something. They've had kind of a nasty couple of years, and it was nice to see them get out. Current and upcoming programs, registration for our Stars and Strikes Coed softball tournament is still open. We have 3 spots available, so be sure to call the office. today to register. The tournament will be held on Saturday, June 26th at Abner Longley Park. We held our Spring League Pickleball tournament on Friday, May 21st, and had a great turnout. The winners for each division were Take Two, Dills Daily, Grumpy Old Men again, I think I've heard them before, Young Punk and Elder, and we had a great turnout for our spring league and hope to have more leagues and tournaments in the future. We're looking at possibly a night tournament. I think that'd be nice to have a night tournament, so Allison's working on that. Our Princess Party that was held on May 8th was a success. We had several families come through the cabin to visit the princesses and take carriage rides around the park. We hope to host this event next May as well. Special thank you to Mermazing Princess Parties and Taylor Moss for being our princesses for the day. They were just gorgeous and were so neat. Those little girls just loved it. They were in awe. It's a really neat event. And Taylor Moss, we all know her. She does an outstanding job. Our daddy-daughter dance will be held this year on Saturday, August 28th. We will hold this on the deck of the Seashore Water Park again as we enjoyed the venue last year. Tickets will go on sale early July. Our June swim lessons will begin on Monday, June 14th and will run for 2 weeks. We are excited to say all of our classes are completely full. Lap swim starts June 8th. Let's hear it, Diane.
Thank
there
you,
go.
finally.
June 8th at 5:30. There again, anybody we can get to get out there. It's a great time and a great exercise. Diane.
I assure people, if you give it a try for just 2 weeks, you won't regret it, and you'll want to get that alarm set at 5 o'clock to make it.
You've been missing it for a year.
Oh, yeah, a year since February, a year ago February, yeah.
And there again.
And it shows, and I feel it.
Oh, quit it, yeah. No, I think once they get out at 5:30 in the morning, get your day started, and I'm planning on doing it myself, but.
I may call you and remind you.
I'm serious.
Okay.
No, I really am, and it's funny because the guards that we had, I think you'll be familiar with some of the guards, the ones that have done this for years, want to keep coming back. They love, obviously, a little extra perk in monies for getting up so early, but I think you enjoy them and they're good at what they do. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So anyway,
Thank you.
5:30 Tuesday and Thursdays. There again, we're going to have to enter through the doors at the front, but you need to sign up at the office before going out. And if you could, that'd be great. Outside events, the RC competition on May 16th had yet another great turnout. This course will be closed, though, for the weekend of June 12th and 13th due to Colonial Market Days. Talked to him down there. He said, he said it's good to go, so he's putting it out on his pages, and we'll also advertise the same for us. But yeah, Colonial Market Days kind of takes that corner, and Casey Sampson was very appreciative of that. Our Buick Club Car Show, June 5th, that's this Saturday, Memorial Park. There again, they're from Kokomo. They love our parks and just love it. So if you can get out, come out Saturday and watch them. Kiwana's Fishing Derby, June 12th, 8 a.m. to 11:30 at the Hot Pond. There again, that should be a great one. There's 3 albino fish that are going to be tagged, and if you win them, I think I saw a $100 gift certificate with Amazon if you get the big prize fish, but there will be plenty of prizes, poles and everything. So hopefully, if it's like any other event we've had this year, they sell out very quick. People want out, so I would say get there early, get there before 8, get your spot so you get a spot down at the Derby. Colonial Market Days, June 12th and 13th. Again, expecting a big turnout for that, and that's at Abner Longley Park. LISA has wrapped up their season at Reese Park. They did a nice recognition of all the players and volunteer coaches. And also, I want to say thank you to the varsity baseball. They were very nice to work with this year. Unfortunately, their season's over. They were Sagamore Conference winners, but fell short of winning the sectional. There again, great season. Guys should hold their heads high, but it was great ball to watch and see all these recruiters out there from all these big major league teams. It was pretty cool. And I wish the best to all the team and that Mr. Harker for going forward with his career. Registration for Lebanon Youth Football is now open until July 1st, and that's right around the corner. That's going to fire up coming up here in the middle of July. Also, the 4th of July, the parade is on. However, the carnival is also going to be coming. That'll be the week prior to it. It comes in on a Tuesday and leaves the night of the 4th, which is Sunday, July 4th. We are planning, there aren't any anything goes or any contests or anything like that. There might be a praise band, and then there will be the worship that we have the Sunday prior to that too, or Sunday morning. Other than that, I think there's one dinner that might happen. Band, their steak dinner is not going to happen this year. A lot of these groups can't get together because of COVID, so they couldn't plan it out. But the ice cream social, I believe, is still on, and just stay tuned to our message board and also our pages to find out when that will be. But the fireworks, the council gave the 4th of July committee $20,000, so it's going to be just as big as it was last year, and I think that was a great move by the council. I think I didn't hear anybody complain that there were too many fireworks, and I'm sure there's people out there with dogs that really didn't care for it. As far as the pool hours, I just thought I'd go over that one last time. Monday through Wednesday will be 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday through Saturday will be 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday will be 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Residents 2 to 4 are $3. 5 to 17 are $5, and 18 and over will be $6. Non-residents will be 2 to 4 will be $5. Just add $2 to everything is basically it. 5 to 17 will be $7, and age 18 and up will be $8. Again, we're all ready for the season, ready to get it started. It's been incredibly busy. The ladies in the office have just done outstanding. We do have an intern too, Mary Brown, who accepted the position and has already been hard at work. She does a weekly newsletter too, by the way. I don't know if you haven't signed up, I think she's doing a fantastic job of that, kind of keeping you in the swing of things of what's going on around the park. It's just hard to stop and tell her what's going on a lot of times. I know we struggle with that. It's like, as far as she's doing a great job though, and she's been around. She was a lifeguard. She's also going to do some supervising in the pool and help out, but really proud of her and glad that she accepted the job. And that's all I had for this evening. Any questions or anything?
You all been very busy. Very busy.
Lori?
It's summertime.
John, may I have a couple minutes to address
Yes.
the board?
Yeah.
Something that's kind of been bothering me lately in regards to the park, and I think that I bring it to the park board more than, I guess, on my heart. There are a lot of issues with vulgar, disrespected kids out at the park from, I'd say, early evening until 8:30. I have actually had 3 different phone calls in the last 3 days from people. What I was wanting to know is, or at least bring it, before the board. I actually, about a month ago, I talked to a couple of the police officers to see what their would be as far as if we could budget next year to have a police officer, not necessarily in car, but off-duty, walking around from, say, 4 to, say, 10 o'clock.
Or 11, yeah, I agree.
4 to 11. I am totally disgusted with the fact that these 3 families left our park because of disrespectful kids, excuse me. I want to do something about it. I want to do something to where, an unmarked officer walking around, whether they're out on their bikes, whether they're in their own vehicles, whether they walk to the park and do their time. I don't really care how they get there, but I really think as a park board, we need to look at what we can do money-wise to get this under control. Because I don't think families should feel forced to leave. You know, John and his crew does such an awesome job, and we have the best parks around. And I don't know where the money could come from. I don't know, you know, what we could do to move things around, but I'd really, really love to try to look at least next year somehow, try to budget a certain amount that we could put towards protecting the younger kids. The one individual was 12 years old that was causing the majority of the problems. In my eyes, that's unacceptable. I know it's not the kid's fault, it's the parents. But we need to do something, I think, as a park board to look at that for the future to be able to protect those families.
I don't have a problem. You're talking really security in the park, and I don't really have a problem
Yeah.
with that. I mean, to look at the budget for next year, but in the meantime, I know the police can go through the park. Can they not get out of the vehicle and just take a walk through?
Here's the
Here's
problem.
we can't do it this year.
No,
They're just
and here's the
disrespectful
problem
to
with that,
police.
Lori, and I mean, I've been out there on a number of occasions, and here's what happens. Anytime a kid knows that they're doing incorrectly, what do? If they see a cop, they're going to run, and they're going to get away from that certain area or that certain situation, per se. I totally agree with you in the sense that, but that's not happening. We're not getting the protection. We're not getting the cops going through there on a regular basis, and I think that's something not necessarily on the police side that's a negative. I honestly think that they don't have the time, you know, in between calls and that sort of thing. And that's why, in my eyes, even though I don't want to see us spend the money, but in my eyes, we have got to figure something out, because, I mean, I'll just be honest with you, I'm to a point as being on the park board, I literally just want to take my chair out there and sit and deal with it myself, you know, and say, you're out. Don't come back. And, you know, I'm not trying to be forceful, I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, but to have 3 phone calls in that period of time, that just really bothers me, you know.
What area of the park are these?
Every single call came from Memorial.
I meant what area? The
Two of them were the green slide area, and one was over by the shelter house.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just was trying to talk about something for this year, because
Right.
we need to talk to the police too. I mean, their presence merely there and the kids seeing it night after night might deter some of that. The second thing is, we probably need to talk to them, because I don't know what they can do.
They
Verbally,
get-
nothing.
Yeah, they get sworn at too, and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been chest bumped myself and cussed at, and as soon as we pull up, Billy will attest to it, or the superintendent, they start videotaping you, and
Right.
I mean, it is an issue. There's a lot of disrespect
Yeah.
out there. We've turned in 15 from our security cameras with vandalism this year, and
Yeah.
that's from poking holes in our new bathroom doors, tearing off dispensers. It's very frustrating and time-consuming, to say the least, and we have a lot of other things, that, as you can see, that we want to accomplish.
I just, in my eyes, and I totally respect what
Yeah.
you're saying, Lori,
And we are documenting, and I was going to plan to go to we're working on budgets now.
Right.
I will probably present that to the mayor and the clerk treasurer mid-July, and that is one of the top priorities, to say, can we set somebody aside? We have Ted Caldwell down at the hot pond, or conservation pond, that is doing an outstanding job, but he's being disrespected too. Vandalism, they're hurting the geese.
Yeah.
And it took a gate off. I could go on and on. A hatchet was found, and they're just vandalizing. Somebody's hitting stuff with a hammer, vandalizing our trees, and we do get them on camera. We turn them into the police. Then the detectives are going forward with it. By the time you trespass them, it's midsummer, and they've done a lot more vandalism. They're very disrespectful. I get those same phone calls quite frequent.
Yeah.
And it's disheartening, because it's like, okay, what can I do? Did you call the police? That's the first thing.
Yeah.
You're being disrespected, call the police. Get them out there. They will come. What they can do will be, if nothing else,
Right.
we can put a do not trespass on them, where they stay out of the parks and their summer's ruined, but that's on them, not on us.
And I was out at the
Yeah.
park last night, and after a phone call, and there were 3 policemen sitting out there in the park. And, I'm sure during that time, nothing was going on,
No, but I'm
'cause
just
their
saying
presence-
repetitive
Sure.
of their presence.
Sure.
Maybe deter. Do we have any kind of signage up? Or should we look into signage of?
We have a lot of signs. I don't know that I think it says behaviors, but it doesn't say anything
Okay.
about
I was
foul
just-
language. But yeah, that's,
I was thinking if that's something that's posted, then we have a little more leverage going,
Yeah,
it
I would
might take-
agree.
It might take an ordinance, it might take a council movement.
No, the
or
smoking
something
signs
like
don't
that.
work.
I'll look into that for next meeting.
Yeah.
I will look
I
into
just thought
see-
that would give it leverage.
Yeah,
but-
because the police, just like we have a lot of metal detector guys out there, and it is posted, and I didn't see the sign, that's always their first comeback.
Well,
It's
of course
posted in
not,
every-
but- yeah.
And it's like, I can dig holes, no, you can't, and it's because they leave these holes and people get hurt.
Oh, and the problem is that, the kids are smarter than you, and the kids are smarter than the police, because they know that you can't do anything to them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. There's
And it never
no,
fails that the
there's
police
no
are more at
repercussion.
Park, the kids are down at Abner, but
Yeah.
a lot of the vandalism is
There's never
happening.
going to be
Yeah.
the right answer. I was just thinking with their mere presence, it would help maybe the kids, but then again, they'll move somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like to Abner Longley, but I mean, there's no easy answer,
with
but
you.
I'm just
Move
thinking,
them out of the park. That's where I want to move
Yeah.
them.
if this year we could do anything and ask them to do, because I know probably soon they're going to be out on their bicycles.
We've had conversations, but I'll be happy to pull you in, John, with the
I
next conversation.
would love to, because like I said,
I'll set something up
I'm,
and we'll do that. We will
Yeah.
sit down with Chad and Chad Morgan and go forward from there.
Yeah.
And then report next
Anybody
month.
else have any comments?
Well, John, I totally appreciate this conversation, because I see it, and I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. And I think it's beyond, though, that 4 to 10 or 11 o'clock time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but haven't you all, as employees at the pool, even dealt
yeah.
with some ridiculous behaviors? I'm not talking
Absolutely.
this year, I'm talking about in the past. And here you have employees trying to deal with stuff that's kind of beyond their authority
Yeah.
in perception.
and not necessarily just kids, parents.
Right.
And we all know
Yes,
not
it
to
isn't just
touch
children
any
doing
child
this
or
stuff.
anything like that, even though if they were my child, they would not be behaving that way, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I almost think there needs to be a sit-down with, some of us, maybe like a subcommittee or something,
Yeah.
and with maybe a couple, like you said, from the police
Police
department,
department.
and say, here's our problems. Okay, how can we work together to address this?
Be happy to do that. Whoever
think
wants
that's
on
a
the
good
committee, you
idea.
guys choose, and I'll set something up.
And I totally
Bring
understand
Tony
what
Mills
Lori's
in.
saying about, you can't hold somebody accountable for something that you haven't told them they can or can't do.
Yeah.
So if you have, like we have in the schools, we have notices on all doors, you must check in at the school office. Of course, now they can't even get anywhere without going through there, but you can enforce, it's a non-public access facility if you don't follow our rules.
Right.
These are our rules,
We
That
have,
way you
we have
have
those
some
signs. Have you
leverage.
seen the signs by going to Speedway, that little trail there saying no?
No golf carts?
Yes.
Guess what? They run them over
All the
on a
time.
daily basis.
Yeah.
We had somebody get stuck back there, so it's like, okay, and it is an ordinance to stay off our trails, so we put them up. Now we've had to reinforce them, and they still run them over or pull them up and throw them out.
Right.
And these are adults, just saying.
Oh, it isn't just kids.
No,
saying.
it's not just the
Yeah.
kids.
Put a 6-inch tube of concrete on there, and
Yeah, I
then put
hear
the
you.
sign against it
Yeah.
and see what happens to them.
But if something,
Yeah, the parks
whether
are-
they see it or not, if it's there,
The parks are, I think, one of our pride and joy
They are.
areas of
Amen.
our community.
Amen.
And if we have visitors coming from outside or our own folks using that space, it should be protected and safe.
Yes, it should.
So,
Nine
and
times-
it shouldn't all be on you all to take
Right,
care of
9
that.
times out of 10, they'll call me or text me or whatever. Did you call the police? No. And it's like, okay.
They don't
that's
want to
the
get
first-
involved.
That's the first, but just call them and walk away. Just say, this is going on.
Yep.
Down at the pond, hot pond, they take those rocks and they're beating geese with it or
Yeah,
sticks.
baby
And
geese,
throwing them in,
taking them.
and Yeah, they call me and, hey, they're doing this, and I understand, I want to know, but call police first. That's still my recommendation on anything. Don't confront them like you said, Diane. Call the police. And we've been instructed, all the guys too, don't confront them because you're going to lose, if you would lose your temper, you're losing your job. So
Right.
that's,
And the police will respond, they just
Yes,
can't
they
be
will.
everywhere all the
No,
time.
Not
Yeah.
everywhere, no,
Yeah.
you're right.
And again, like I said, the unfortunate part, as soon as they see that cop car,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Or they-
They're gonna separate, and they're gonna go their own little way, and at that point, unless you have somebody standing right there and say, that's the one,
yeah.
Well, and you could
You're not
have
gonna
that, some people will, if they call them, they'll say, if those are
Sure.
the kids.
They're really good on the events too, to have bike patrols.
Yeah.
and-
I was
and
gonna say,
they
they'll
are-
be out on
They were
bikes.
planning that last year, but we didn't have any events, but Brad Bailey was in charge of that, and there was going to be presence out there, and maybe we just step up the bike patrol.
And
I think the
Authorized
bikes
anyway,
would
so-
be-
and that would be great. I mean, even if it's
But
just
I
for this
think
year.
coming from you would help out too, so I think I'll set something up.
However
for
we can help.
Yeah,
Whoever wants to.
absolutely.
Yeah, if you want a committee or whatever you want to do, I'll be happy to set it up.
Okay,
Sounds good. Thanks for bringing that up, John.
yeah.
I think that's
No,
important.
It's good. It's very hard to control, but at least it's something that we can.
I know a guy in the back of the room that would love it, because the
Well, I
vandalism
know.
on a every other day is frustrating, to say the
Yeah,
least, yeah.
it has to be.
Very
I mean,
deflating after you go, yeah, oh well. There
Yeah.
you go.
But if you'll look into the signs, because I think if we put something, that would be
Gets you
one
some
step.
leverage.
Yeah, it gives you a little leverage.
Okay,
Yeah.
And, we'll just, I have no problem with you giving the police authority, they're banned from the park.
yeah.
I
Do
mean,
not
that-
trespass, and that, I think there's 15 already, and school just got let out.
So did they get an official notice, like to their parent or guardian, if it's a
To be quite honest, I
child?
don't know. I just know that they have a list at the police station, and they're on a due, I don't know how it's enforced, because I can't recognize from one day to the next, they all look, the same. I gotta be honest.
But you don't know 'em.
Little
Yeah.
thugs that you wanna, no, I'm sorry. Oh, absolutely, yeah, no, we
You do have some,
we have the parents that also go the other way,
Yeah,
and the way
and
they're
won't do
grounded
anything.
and everything else, and.
As they
I'm not
should.
saying- Yeah, once they're notified, but the police have also, I've talked to detectives this spring, and they were called nasty names by the adults and hung up on, so that's the respect that the police get from there.
Right,
They
and
will
that's,
pay
Why the kids are the way they
and
are.
that's understandable. But,
Yeah.
thanks, John, that's good. I think we need to
You got it.
address it.
John, I had a real quick question too on the claims before we get there. There is a check, a couple of invoices for Adams Electric. One says Square Downtown Dimmer, $95.38.
Yes, sir.
Why is that coming out of park board money? And didn't we set up a fund when we did the downtown to,
No,
No, we did not.
we
and
brought
that's-
it up, though. I know you brought,
Yeah, that's something that I'm also addressing in the budget meetings. The same thing happened at Vincennes or Gene Haas University, whatever, out there,
Yeah.
business park. Went ahead and purchased the property, we have the property, and it's like, who's gonna maintain it? The Parks Department. There's all kinds of bushes, 40, 50 yards of mulch, irrigation system, eight acres to mow. We're taking care of that. We're paying our personnel, it's coming out of the parks levy, or our tax levy that we have. So now we have money set aside that is taking care of that. Also, the plowing and the ice melt, whatever that we
but you're,
use out there.
but you're saying nothing is
Nothing has
being
been done.
appropriated to the park for the money that's being spent
Not
to
on
maintain the
And
downtown?
We've mulched it since, it's, since
there
it
needs to
started.
be a downtown maintenance
And that is
fund or
going to be
something
addressed
like
at
that.
budget to the council, saying, look, you did it for Vincennes.
I
now
under-
This needs to happen too.
I understood that when the downtown was done, we were going to have one man to be down there to do, I guess, what you guys are doing, and then also I understood it to be, there would be a account set up solely for the expenses for downtown.
Okay.
So
The
now,
reason that I have that bill is I was contacted by our city engineer, and he said he didn't have any money, could I pay this bill? And I'm a team player, and I said, sure.
$95?
I'm just saying, that's what I was contacted about. So I was also asked about I asked about the umbrellas at the time, and I said, hey, the umbrellas are pretty shabby, I'd really like to replace those, a couple of them are ripped, and he's got to find the money. So yeah, I think he's going to go to food and beverage and ask for money
So-
to take care of.
And I don't mean to bite off the hand that feeds us by any means, but I guess my whole thing is if the park is paying for all of this, is this something that we are taking and keeping track of
Oh, I
and be
have-
reimbursed? Or is this something that,
I
I mean,
have-
because we could use that money building our parks
Yeah,
and
we
maintaining.
spent $20,000 in the last 2 years on ice melt alone, let alone all the man hours of plowing, mulching. I mean, there's another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 there in mulching.
I would think $50,000 a year, it would be about
They
where
did
we.
give us another employee to hire to maintain downtown, but that is also coming out of our park levy. The council's been very good to us also.
Amen.
Let's not us forget about.
No, and that's why I said, I'm not
Too,
biting
so
the
it's
hand
like-
that fed me, but
Exactly.
I also think that, us paying for stuff that's being done on the
And
downtown,
think
I don't understand
Once
that.
that's brought to their attention at this budget meeting, I think they will say, yeah.
Okay,
here you go.
good.
They did at Vincennes, so I will address that.
Okay.
Will we get reimbursed? Probably not,
Yeah.
to be quite honest.
Well, like I said,
Record of it.
they've done an unbelievable thing for us, and,
Yeah, they have.
but I
And
guess
wanna
my
keep
only
coming to that
question was,
table, yeah.
no, my only question was the fact that that's what, I mean, I remember the conversation very, very well.
You were part of that group.
I was,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I remember the conversation very well. Yes, we will hire a person for you to take care of the downtown, because I even suggested, you need to go down there and pick up trash on a daily basis, yada, yada, yada. And at that time, we were told that there would be a separate account that would have the money in it that would take care of the needs and the upgrades
Yeah.
and so forth of downtown.
Well, there's curb damage down there from snow plows, what have you, or wear and tear, from people jumping the curbs and doing some damage, plant material, let alone all the monies and time and equipment that we've spent. But yeah, it's going to be addressed in the next budget, but those pavers, everything will move. You know how that works too. And those will need to be,
Reset.
repaired,
Yeah.
fixed, what have you.
Well, as long-
We've already fixed ourselves. We do a lot of the work in-house, so the bollards that have got hit and knocked over, we fixed those and actually did a better job of engineering them than the guys that engineered them, just saying. Yeah.
John, might it be that it's a little gray because the way the Big Four filters into downtown, so it is part of the trail also, even though not only?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't care. I'm told to do it. We're going to do it. We go above and beyond. We're spraying parts of 39 with Roundup and going here and there in the old Estes building. Yeah, we're mowing a few properties around town that the city has purchased. They're demolished and
Which has nothing to do with our budget.
yeah. Again, you are right, but we are team players, and it all says Lebanon. So whether it be, and the same thing with utilities. When I ask of, them to do something, I don't hesitate if they ask us. If we can help out, if we're not bogged down, man, we're team players, and we got a great crew. Nobody complains.
You
As far as that
might
goes.
want to check into it, and I may be wrong, but you might want to check into something like, the supplies even in a fund, out of the general fund, so it doesn't affect the park department tax rate is.
Exactly.
I didn't think
You know,
about that.
You're going to have the labor
Right.
already
Yeah.
in your park board budget, but if you could get some of the materials or things like that you need, or maintenance and materials, whatever they could call, to come out of the general fund rather than the park budget, because
Oh,
it'll raise your
absolutely. Well,
tax
there's-
rate.
There's benches that I brought to the engineer's attention too, where the skateboards have already scarred them up and things like that they need repainted or replaced, what have you.
Yeah, but
Trash
replace
cans
is
and things like
costly
that,
for
and they are
those.
you're talking thousands.
Yeah,
And, Yeah, we've looked at the limestone. We're trying to understand why that white is bleeding through. It makes me,
That fluorescence.
that is, it isn't salt from our ice melt.
That
That's-
fluorescence coming from the limestone, I believe. I
Okay.
may be wrong, and I
We're
believe.
using different products on the backside to try and correct that, because it's
What do you know what you're using?
several products. We've tried several. The best thing that we used was dish soap and that, because the
Try an eff-
elephant snot didn't work. I could go through
Try an
five products that don't work.
Try an efflorescence cleaner.
Everything.
And see what that does. Efflorescence cleaner, we use it for pavers and on patios, because what happens is there's actually salt inside your pavers, and when that bleaches out, it basically turns it white. Now, I don't know about limestone, the way that color, well,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bleeding from the inside out. It's
Right.
some type of minerals, what I've read.
yeah,
and
I would
we're
try
working at it.
efflorescence and just see what it does.
But there again, that's taking pride in something else. If our name's on it, we're gonna do the best of our
Right.
ability to make
And-
sure
Right.
it looks good
And
for
I
everybody.
know what you're saying, and, you know, if we can absorb the labor costs, maybe we can
I
get
think the
material.
council will be responsive.
I think so, all.
Not
I
to
think
bring
so.
up a bad thing, I just didn't, I guess I understood there was a fund for that, so I didn't realize
Yeah,
that
there
that was
hasn't
not.
been, no, there hasn't. And we used to pay for fire and police ice melt also, and now they are paying us, or we still deliver it to them or what have you, but we are taking care of that. We're still plowing the fire department. I think they have a truck now, so hopefully they'll take over their plowing of the fire departments. But we're team players. If they need it, we're there.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
And that's a
Street department's
Yeah.
right there to help us out.
And that's-
Exactly how
and
we would want you to be.
Yeah.
Right, and that's
Exactly.
appreciative, and I'm sure they feel likewise. It's just one of those things where I just did not realize that we were financially paying for things that,
Yeah,
in my
it's coming
opinion,
out
should
of
be
our
coming
tax
out of,
levy.
yeah, that it
And
should
I-
not be
Yeah.
coming out of our fund because it's not a park.
And the clerk hasn't said anything to say, no, 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 or anything. If she would, I'd stop it, so.
Yeah. And we don't want to do that. But
No,
if they
no.
can just create
No.
something that,
He's right there. I
To track
get your
it.
point exactly. That's been one of my little problems too. And like you say, you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you.
No, not at all.
Like, yes,
No.
yeah, there you go.
I totally appreciate everything that the council's done and the mayor's done to better and look in the future for the parks. I mean, I'm not knocking that at all. I just assumed that there was a fund that we had to offset the expenses of
But
the
yes, that
downtown.
was not,
Is that not something, Lori, can we not take, or could there not be a draw on the food and beverage on that? Is that not,
you have to go and actually ask for the money each time. I think
Yeah.
that's what Kevin's idea is about the umbrellas. He's probably going to ask for upkeep or whatever to the council. And
Okay.
ask them, and they
Take it
can
out of-
take it out of whatever line. You have a
Yeah.
Coed, you have general funds, you have any kind of monies.
I was just curious, I didn't know, I'm not really up to,
They'll be more than happy to do it, I'm sure.
I think so too.
If
I
you wanna
really think
give
it's
up.
something that they haven't thought of.
Just
would be
overlooked.
that big.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it is. And
just like our $7,000 that you guys signed there for that little board, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This little transformer, it's like, are you kidding me? $7,000, it just,
Would you guess that the park pays $50,000 a year to maintain the downtown?
I would say that, I would say every bit, yeah.
Is that-
Labor,
We take care of the trash.
Sorry, Billy?
Ray's trash was doing it. Ray's wasn't doing a very good job. Again, it's a reflection on us. And the last thing we want is, boy, the parks doesn't take care of the trash cans. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So that's in our daily routine of Monday, Wednesday, Friday of getting those out. Unless we see it when we're up there picking up cigarette butts, what
Right.
have you. Then it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever.
Right.
Arnie's has a big party and there's a bunch of boxes there, which,
What'd you say, Billy?
have Billy come up here.
come on up, Billy. No, they can't hear you. People on TV can't hear you. Yeah.
Project.
Me and Caleb sat down the second to last snow we had before the big one. I think it was 2 or 3 inches.
Yes.
And we ended up spending, we figured we could spend it up between man-hours and salt, almost $1,500 for that 4 or 5 hour period.
Yeah.
Okay?
We called everybody in.
That adds up. Yeah.
to get it done, to get it done.
Is that including the salt, Billy?
Yeah.
That's pretty cheap, isn't it?
I was gonna say, I'm,
It's a little more than that, just saying.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just a square and a little bit around it, you know, I mean, we didn't add on what we do with the trail.
I may have to hire you guys.
Yeah, no, it's that's good.
But that's, yeah, it adds up, and I just think it's been an oversight.
Yes.
I don't think they intend for this to come out of the park
Oh,
budget.
I'm not implying that at all. I always
no.
thought that there was a fund that we took out of to pay for.
Well, I think that was part of
The
the
downtown.
trouble with the bike park too. Let's get all the things installed there before we get a big investment, and then we have to take all our monies and generate it out there. I think you want that all pretty smooth prior to us getting it handed to us. I know that's what the council had informed me too. You make sure all the Ts are crossed and Is are dotted, and when it's
just
handed
think-
off to you, everything is completed, and I will see that the,
Yeah.
you know,
Because, I mean, the normal person isn't gonna understand everything you spend down there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, okay.
good point.
Thanks, John.
Can I ask another question? Well, we're all, is it
Oh,
all?
no.
What is the status of working with Deb Schmucker on the revisiting the master plan? Because I think you mentioned.
Yes, we talked about that. We'll probably start it earlier so we can get more input on the master plan. It isn't due till January. DNR doesn't request it till January of 2022, but we discussed that last night at midnight, and it's like I said, you haven't forgot about the master plan, and she said no. She thought a good time frame would be July, August, when the pool's open, so we can run the surveys. Same thing with the kind of coincide with our water park expansion, where we can get people that are visiting our park to actually input.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
And last year, at the gate, it was 50-50. You had 50 residentials and 50 non-residential, so it was about split down the middle.
Really?
You still don't have Frankfurt Pool open till 2023. Brownsburg doesn't have anything. Zion Aqua is a membership only, so we still
It's
have a
gonna be
cookie cutter.
good.
However, Avon is building a wave pool now, so, yeah, they've gone there. But Danville had a new pool, and they still were coming here, so that's pretty impressive, too. They like our facility.
You made reference to the bike park. What's the status of that now?
It's in legal.
Still, they're dealing with all that,
Stuff, yeah.
so it'll be a while.
It'll be a bit, I'm afraid.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Did we ever get anywhere on the building out at Southside Park as far as if we got control of that yet?
No, we don't. Thompson Street, the warehouse, the old tube forming, no. It is still tied up between the conversation between the county, and you'll probably be seeing bills coming for counseling on that. I haven't seen any recently, so I was told by Mr. Shine that he's working on it with the county.
is it over the taxes?
Mm-hmm.
Several things I think it's over, taxes being one of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Well, now that we've solved all the world problems.
Yeah,
I think we had a great, I think this was great.
yeah.
Very good. Okay. Now, if everyone's had a chance to look at the claims, I'd entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. If there's nothing else to come before the board tonight, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for joining us this evening.
And our